Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Basketball Weekly, brought to you by our friends at Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined by the head coach of the Valpo men's basketball program, Matt Loddick. And let's start this week's conversation by talking about Ben Krikke. Since we last talked in this setting, he crossed the 1,000 point milestone for his collegiate career. Had a chance to recognize him before the game on Saturday. What does it mean not only to reach 1,000 points, but in this day and age of college basketball, to do it at one institution with 4 years in a Valpo uniform?
Yeah, I mean, it's, obviously Ben's everything good about college basketball, in my opinion. The way he works, his approach, very selfless attitude. And for him to, be recognized, for an accomplishment, it's a prestigious accomplishment. I didn't get to 1,000 points, and so I applaud him. And he's done it. He's done it the right way. He's absolutely done it the right way. Coming in as a role player his freshman year, a little more featured that sophomore COVID year where he was in and out of the lineup, being in quarantine and things like that. And then last year, so it's great for him to get recognized. Hope there's a lot more points coming in that Valpo uniform too.
Yeah, let's talk about the way he's playing right now. 20-plus points in 3 straight games. He's one of the nation's leading scorers, 9th in the country, and leads the Valley in scoring. What have you seen from Ben this season?
Well, I just think, hard work pays off. And, Ben is always in the gym, loves to play, loves to compete. He's there every single day in practice. And so it's just not a surprise. I think what people are seeing, right, is like he's actually stretching the defense, able to hit some threes and do things like that. But he's been working on it. He's been making them in practice for a couple of years now. And it doesn't happen overnight, but when you put the work in, good things tend to happen for you. And so he's done a great job. He's going to continue to add wrinkles to his game too, because of just who he is as a player in person.
Let's talk about the point guard position. You've had 3 point guards that you played. You started Darius Tiavero this past game. Maybe what are some of the strengths each one brings to the table, and what are those discussions like right now as you divvy out the minutes between the 3 point guards?
Well, health's been a concern with the point guards too. I mean, we've just had, nothing major, right? But we've had guys that have just been banged up. And so, for us, I think the idea of, I think Darius has got, a really strong presence on the defensive end. Obviously, he's very fast, but understands our concepts, understands everything that we're doing, as a point guard in every capacity. Nick's been, electric scoring the basketball. And so, he provides another punch. I think, as teams start keying in, we've got 3 guys that are scoring most of our points right now. And so we're going to have to just, develop another guy that's going to be out there to score. And I think Nick's got that capability. And then, Preston's been a guy that's, been a little banged up, hasn't really been able to string together consecutive practices until recently. And so we all saw what he could do as a freshman, walk-on freshman last year. We're hopeful he can continue to build on that. He's got obviously a very strong presence defensively, can knock in an open shot, and can really be a good leader. And so we're excited about all of them. Right now, we're kind of letting it all play out to see who, earns the most minutes. But our guys have been doing a pretty good job.
As you've had a chance to look back at the film from this past week, Chicago State, now Incarnate Word, maybe what are some areas you're focused on getting better going forward, or what are the key focuses in practice this week?
Well, I think, for the Chicago State game, I mean, we've just got to do a better job of, especially on the road. We've been getting down and I think hanging our heads a little bit, just not been able to get stops. I mean, it happened in Toledo, happened at Chicago State. And then, we rebound and have a heck of a second half. For us, we've got to, figure out what's going wrong quicker and be able to execute better quicker. And, and then, I thought the Incarnate Word game, our guys have been, under the weather, and you're around the campus, right? People are, getting sick left and right now. It's just that time of year. And so I was proud of the effort that they had. Kobe wasn't feeling great. Q wasn't feeling great. A couple other guys weren't feeling great. So for them to come out and really never hang their hat, right? Did they want to play better? Absolutely. But at the same time, they just kind of kept plugging away and found a way to win when things weren't really going their way. So I'm proud of that. Got a tough stretch coming up here. And, we got a group that is proud and likes to play together. So we're excited about getting on the road and getting a different environment and hopefully turn out some wins.
I wanted to ask you more about that. What's it going to be like to have a long stretch together away from home? And how do you use this as a time to come together as a unit over this 10 days on the road?
I think we're excited about it, right? I mean, right now there's no one on campus, right? All the students are home. And so, it's going to be able to probably get some energy for us, hopefully a little bit warmer weather. And we're playing some really good teams. And so that'll be exciting for us and give us kind of an early test of where we're at. And then at the tail end of that trip, we get to play Belmont's first ever conference game in the Missouri Valley at their place. So that should be pretty fun.
Let's get a little bit of an opponent preview. What can you tell us about Samford in advance of Wednesday?
No, they like to score. They really they returned a lot of players from a pretty good team last year, actually a very good team last year, and they play very fast. I mean, every possession they're pressuring you pretty much the entire time up the floor. They like to get out in transition. They've got 5 really skilled players on the court at all times, and so they want to play very high scoring game, and so that's what we're preparing ourselves for.
There he is, the head coach of the Valpo men's basketball program, Matt Loddick. Again, a lot of time on the road, all the games streamed, and you can catch the streaming info on valpoathletics.com leading into that televised game against Belmont to open up conference play next Thursday. We'll talk to you again next week on Valpo Basketball Weekly, and it's brought to you by our friends at Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.